Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Now in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how you can create storybooks. More specifically, you can create children's or kids storybooks and even young adults from 12 plus. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the process how you can do this using Artistly. Okay, first we're going to go into Artistly and we've got Create Design tab. Okay, once you select Create Design, we have two choices to select from. We've got the Fast AI Image Designer and the Advanced AI Image Designer. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration and how we're going to access the feature of creating the kids storybook, we need to select the Fast AI Image Designer. Okay, so go ahead and select Fast AI Image Designer. And from the menu at the top, we're simply going to scroll across and we're going to go to the Prompt Magic tab. Okay, so select Prompt Magic and you're going to see step 1, select a category. So we've got a number of categories we can choose from. So for this, we're going to go to Kids Storybooks. Okay, Kids Storybooks. Once we go ahead and select that, you're going to see step 2 has now appeared, where we're going to go ahead and we've given where we have to now follow a set of instructions and set up the settings so we can actually get the kids books. Okay, so first of all, we can see the story type. Now with story type, it will allow the AI or Artistly more specifically to understand what is the story type that you have in mind to create, and then it will cater towards those specific needs of yours when you're creating your story. So once I select the story type, you'll see a nice drop down where we can actually select a variety of different story types. We've got fiction, non-fiction, moral, mystery, fantasy, comic, fairy tale, biography, poetry, science fiction, ghost story, and horror. So a nice selection of different story types. And then when we go ahead and you're creating it within the AI, it'll understand what is the purpose, the story type, and it will cater and create the story based on the story type that you have in mind. Now for this, let's say if we're doing a child's storybook, let's go for we got fantasy or non-fiction or even fairy tale. Okay, so go ahead and select one that is applicable for your needs. Once I've gone ahead and done fairy tale, what's the age group of the kids? Okay, so what's the age group? So we've got a variety of different age groups we can choose from. We've got picture books between 3 and 5, early readers between 5 and 7, young readers between 7 and 12, and we've got young adults from 12 plus. But just bear in mind that if you do create stories, you obviously can use additional open AI like ChatGPT to create stories, even if it's for age range of teenagers and even adults. Okay, because you can use Artistly to create those graphics and designs for your book, so you don't specifically need to go through this and be restricted on age group. You obviously can use Artistly for even a higher age range, but for this is specifically around from 3 to 12 plus. Okay, so I'm going to go for picture book. Okay, 3 to 5. Now, story summary. Write a brief summary of the story. So I'm going to keep this nice, short and sweet, but remember, it's about the prompt. The clearer the prompt that you create, the better the AI will determine and create a story based on the input that you put inside the summary. Okay, so it just makes sense. So for the purpose of this, let's just say tortoise and a rabbit. Okay, rabbit have a race. So you know the story of the tortoise and the hare, but for this I'm just going to say tortoise and a rabbit have a race. Okay, number of characters. Now here we can see there are 2 characters. We've got the tortoise and the rabbit. Now if I want more, I could add that into the summary. If I want maybe an additional character that's placed in there, maybe a parent, a sibling, or someone else in the race, or maybe it's a race of 5 people or whatever it may be. But for this, I want to keep this as 2. However, dependent on how many characters you want in this, where it says number of characters, just below, you've got a minimum of 1 character to a maximum of 10. Okay, because I've got 2 characters, I just can hit the toggle and go to 2 characters. Now, number of pages for my picture books. Now I've got a number of pages, minimum 1 and maximum 10. Now for this, let's keep this in the middle. Okay, let's keep this as 5, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Now, once I've done that, remember when you're creating as well, here's a really good tip. So if you are creating a story, kids books, you know, if you're creating one book, there's nothing stopping you from creating even more further books or series within the main book. So you could have part 1, part 2, part 3, and create as many as you want. So that's something, you know, you could create one book, and from that book you can create a series of ongoing books that are congruent with the initial story. So, you know, just something to bear in mind. So you're not really restricted in any way, shape or form. Now I'm going to go for number of pages 5. Let's go ahead and select generate prompts. Okay, now what Artistically, or the AI more specific, it's going to go, it's going to take our story type, take the demographic of the age group between 3 and 5. It's going to take that very short story summary, a number of characters and pages, and it's now going to create a prompt for us to actually use. Okay, so straight away you can see here are your prompts. You can copy the following prompts to generate images. Now you can see there's a little toggle here, so I can scroll down, and it's got, you know, it's got the title, the front page image, page 1, page 2, page 3 and page 4. Now the key here is, if you've got a notepad, okay, or Microsoft Word or even Google Documents, I would suggest just simply coming over and selecting copy. And with Google Documents, completely free if you have Google, or if you've got Microsoft Word or Notepad, then simply come across and you can paste all of that content, okay, that prompt. That way you have a copy of it, it's saved, and I can say, you know, the story title was The Great Garden Race. I can just come here and you can see once I select it, it's done. So this just allows me now to work from my working document. So I can start off with the story, front cover. Okay, that's the story there. I can just highlight that so I understand what the story is. And we're going to start off with the front cover image prompt. Okay, and as we work through, you can see it's going to have the prompt for the front image, as you would expect. And then we're going to go to the page content. So we've got page 1. It's giving you the story part of the book, and then it's followed by the prompt. So not only is it giving you the content for the book that you can create using, you know, your specified page builder. So I could do this using Google document here, and once I've, you know, come in and I place the text, I can change the font, I can add those images, and then I can go to file and I can download as a PDF, and it would make my book. Okay, so as we go through, let's go for page 1. It's giving me content. Okay, so I don't need to have content there, but this is just a good guideline, so it just helps me walk through, and I can delete this when I'm happy with it. So first of all, we've got page 1, and if I was going to page 2, then I simply go down and I can make that as page 2. Okay, so we've got the page content. I could delete that, and all of this stuff, front page, and you can see how this works. So now I have a front cover here. Okay, and this is a prompt that we're going to use to generate the design. Okay, and once we have the design, the image will go here, and then we can delete that text. However, just as a guide, I can leave it like so. We've got page 1, and then we've got page 2 and page 3. Furthermore, if I want, I could go to insert and go to page numbers, and I can actually place those page numbers like so, and it gives me a better reference as well, which pages relate to what pages. So if I want a table of contents, I can actually add that as well, and it's much more easier for me to follow. So let's go ahead and start with the story title. Okay, the Great Garden Race, and here you can see this is the prompt for the cover. And the title is, it does have the title here. You can see the title, The Great Garden Race, and I'll just highlight that just so you can see. So it's incorporated in the title. Let's go ahead and let me remove that, because I'm going to take this prompt. Okay, I can take the prompt like so, copy it. I come back to Artistically now. So once I've got this, make a copy of it, because the moment you move away from it and you change the tabs, which we're going to do, that will no longer be visible. So always make sure you have a copy before we go and start designing our book. Now we've got a couple of options to create our front design. Now we've got 2 options. We've got Perfect Text Enhanced Image Designer and AI Image Designer. Now, For this, if you want a really high quality design, you can use the Perfect Text Enhance Image Designer. Okay, that will give you a much far superior design opposed to the AI image designer. Okay, however, with the AI image designer, yes, it will give you a great looking graphic, but with the AI image designer, it actually allows you to create up to 4 variations of the cover. So you can pick and choose which one you like, or you can try and test both. Now for this one, let's go ahead and select Perfect Text Enhance Image Designer. I want to select Create from Prompt. And this is where we're going to take this prompt here. You can see all of this prompt. Okay, I'll highlight that just as a reference. We're going to take all of this, come into the prompt section and paste. Okay, and that's it. Now it does give us additional options if we wanted to go in and enhance it or edit, but we don't need to because we've already got that prompt directly from Artistly already. Okay, now we've got speed and quality. We want high quality. Okay, and then we've got choose aspect ratio. Now for aspect ratio, we're going to go by 16:9. Okay, let's have a look. 16:9, or okay, we're going to go by 4:5. Okay, I think that would be the better ratio for that. But you know, you can just, depending on how, you know, the size and dimensions of your book, you can obviously make alterations from that. Now if you have folders set up, you can actually add those graphics specifically into the folder, and you would do that just by going to your personal designs, and you can set up those folders. You can choose at different lightings, the mood, okay, perspective, environment, and composition. For this, let's just keep everything simple, and we go to generate image. Now remember, this is the front page of our graphic, and you can see by 4:5 will give us a larger length graphic that will be perfect for our page that we're going to build out. So we'll give it a few moments for that to build out. Now as we're allowing that to start processing, if you remember, if we go to page 1 content, okay, we have our content there. The next part of the story is going to need another illustration. So in the meantime, we can take and go start creating all of our content or illustrations for our book. Now if I come back, you can see the Great Garden Race has already actually created that for us. So if I want, I can download this. Okay, you got the image there. I can come back and let's just move everything down. Keep a nice clean page. We can delete that once we have our graphic. Then I can just paste that like so. And what I can do, I can just stretch this out. So it won't stretch out because it has a header. So I can remove that header, and I can actually make adjustments for this. Fixed position. Okay, let's go for that. And let's have a look. Just move that across. Oops. Let's go back a little bit and just make that a bit bigger. And the same with this, especially with the footer. So it doesn't take too long to make these adjustments. So I'm just showing you in real time how it would appear. And you can see what a beautiful graphic, and it's ready to go. So if you wanted to, okay, you could add your name there. If you need to make alteration, if there was any spelling issues, you can always come back here and you could regenerate. Okay, you could train the AI to make it much better and correct any issues. However, we're going to stick with this because it's really nice clean graphic like so. Okay, and then with the title, if I want, because I've got it, I can actually delete that. That's not a problem. And then I want to just move everything back up because now I want to work with page 1. So where it says page 1 is just a guide. We can delete that at any point later on once we've got that graphic. So we're going to start off here. Okay, I take the next illustration and I could come back to Image Designer or Perfect Text, each one. But I'm going to go Image Designer and I'll explain why. So I've got this here now. I put the prompt in, customize settings. Okay, so for this one, the reason I've chosen this one, because I can get 4 variations, just allows me to get better content. But if I want just one design that's more high quality, yes, I can go to Perfect Text and Image Designer. But because it gives me 4 variations, I can just see which one I like the most. Okay, so choose aspect ratio, which one that you would like. designate a folder, and then we've got all the customization ability as well. But for this, let's keep this really simple. Let's go ahead and generate image, and we will allow that to start processing. And in the meantime, I can take the next one. So I go our page number, page 2. Okay, the second page. Here's the image prompt, and it's the same process that we're doing. You can see that one's done now. I can come back here, customize. Let's go for 4. Let's go and generate that. Let's have a quick look at these images. Okay, here's a really nice image. I could just copy that actually. Go back to page 1. Let's have a look. Okay, perfect. So now I don't need that image prompt. Okay, and here we have the content. So this is the story, and you can see with this story, if I want, I can change the font. So you could just take the time to change it. You can see, obviously, depending how big the text is. And even with the text, if I want, I can change things around. If I want with the image, I could make it more wrap text. So I could add this around, make it smaller. So you just got to think of it being like a kid's book. Okay, let's have a race. Okay, because of alignment here, let's go to the alignment like so. So with this being a kid's book, now I can actually further enhance this and make this bigger. Okay, there we go. Now what I like about this as well, if you want, you can actually go to File, you can go to Page Setup. Being a kid's book, you know, you can apply a different nice color in the back. So if I wanted pink, I can actually apply it to all of it just to make it into a kid's book. Even with the image here, you can see if I want to make any adjustments, all images. If I wanted to, let's have a look at opacity or brightness, recolor. Okay, but we don't need to do that. And there we go. Even with this text, there's nothing stopping us from actually making things bold if we want. Okay, and even making things much bigger, just like so. Okay, even with this image here, if we wanted to, we can actually add a border like that. Just makes it pop a little bit more, makes it look way more professional. And let's have a okay. There we go. So it just brings it to life really, really, really easily, doesn't it? And if I wanted to, I can make this even bigger in a sunny garden. Just like that. Okay. So as we go down, we can actually do this as well. Then we've got page number 2. If you remember, we've got the next part of the story. We can see we've got some variations. So the next prompt was illustration of Rosie and Terry standing at the starting line, a bright yellow ribbon separating them. The other garden animals, including birds, butterflies and bees, are gathered around, watching the two friends with excitement. So we've got some really good graphics here. So the best one that would illustrate this, from what I like, I've got these two here, isn't it? So just again, it's just it's what you like. This one looks really good because they're at the start line, aren't they? So I can take this image, come back here, remove the prompt as we no longer need it, and there we go. And it's the same process. We go through the text. I can just double check. Yes, this was Oswald, number 25. Let's go for 24, increase. We come back to the image. We can actually have wrap text. We can move this image up because it will wrap around it. But this time we can move it to the, let's see, break text. Okay. What we can do, make this a little bit smaller, but keep it to the left. Okay. So what you can see now is So we can keep making transitions, or you can keep the images in the text. It's about just being creative and seeing what you like. But here you can see the images in the right. Down below we've got it on the left, and it'll be the same process. It's up to you, how you want to add. If you do even want to add a border, things like that, you can even change the color of it, make it stand out a little bit more. Even with this one, we can have that purple there, and like so. So here we go. Okay, so oh, you're slow. Okay, make that bold, make that a little bit bigger. So just imagine for children, it'd be much more easier for them to actually read. Like so. And that's essentially how we can actually start building out the book. And then we've got page 3, page 4. It's just the same simple, easy step process, as you can see. Okay, so hopefully I just wanted to demonstrate and show you the setup for this, how easily you can do this. And then we can do, we can just keep coming back. We go to the next process, page 3, take the same illustration, the prompt. We can come back here to Artistically, like so. Let's go to this prompt here, create simple, okay, high quality, generate image. For the next one then, we'll get this one, come back. So we can do all of our prompts very easily, but just make a note of them so you can keep track of which image applies to which, okay? Also to bear in mind, when you do it, you'll see, photorealistic, how it was created, all the information. If you want to have it in a folder, if you want to create, different projects, you can obviously have specific folders for those projects that you're creating. Just keeps everything more organized, more structured, whether it's for personal or client projects. So the next one here, you've got this one, where they're racing. Okay. We've got another one, processing. So what I like, remember, another good thing is what you can do is, if I come back, if I want to change our prompts, okay, so let me show you another example what you can do to make it more interesting, should we say. If I take this prompt here, I copy, there's also something called the AI Illustrator, and this works perfect, okay, because this allows you to create more styles right that are specific for your books. So within the AI Illustrator, you can actually create different styles, whether it's anime, doodle styles, retro, semi-realistic cartoon styles, water, playful cartoon illustrations. I mean, this goes fantastically well as well. So that's one option. We can use the AI Image Designer or the Perfect Text Enhanced Image Designer, but we've also got things like whimsical fantasy, different styles that you can use to really bring your books alive. So we've got, look at this, playful cartoon storybook style. Once I select it, simply it will be the same process. We enter our prompt, same thing, aspect ratio, and generate image. That's it. And what you can also do, if you come back, you can try different versions like doodle style here, use the same prompt and see which one that you like in terms of the theme or the style. And then you can determine if that fits what you're looking for, and you can go ahead and use that. So we've got anime here, doodle. Let's go to retro. And we'll give that a few moments to process, and we'll see how that looks. So you can see there's the different styles now. Okay. What we're creating, doodle styles and etc. etc. Just like so. Okay, so just remember the steps that we've taken. Simply go to the Prompt Magic tab, Kids Storybooks. We went through the story type, the age, the story summary, number of characters, number of pages. And then once you build out that, just make sure then you copy the prompts, and then we can take the prompts, we can start building our graphics, okay? And once you've done your book, essentially, okay, you can just simply go to download as a PDF, or depending on the file type, we've got even an EPUB, that's like for books, okay? And then what it should look like, let's grab this, okay? Okay, and then we've got, let me just show you this. Okay, then we've got our PDF like so. There we go, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on how you can create storybooks using Artistly AI.